Hey family, breaking news coming out of Washington. President Biden just did the unthinkable thus far. He might actually be remembered for this in his presidency. Last week, he released thousands of convicted felons from prison. I'm going to tell you about it in just a moment. Also, in addition to that, we just received information regarding that Chinese balloon that was floating across the United States. Well, apparently, President Biden wanted to keep it a secret from the American people, but why is the question? I have the details to share with you in just a moment, but before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Last week, President Biden ended up putting out pardons for thousands of convicted felons. Yes, we are talking about individuals that have been charged in the past on federal crimes such as marijuana charges, in which President Biden said, look, there is no reason for these individuals to still be locked up in jail, considering how the economy is playing out in regards to this particular previous drug, if you will. But anyways, he did the unthinkable, which I'm sure a lot of Republicans were not happy with him. But on the Democratic side, yes, a lot of people are actually praising President Biden for doing this, for taking this next step in the right direction in regards to legalizing marijuana in this country. Yes, President Joe Biden pardoned thousands of people who were convicted of the use and simple possession of marijuana on federal lands and in the District of Columbia, according to the White House. This particular categorical pardon builds on the similar round issued just before 2022 midterm elections that pardoned thousands of convicted of simple possessions on federal lands eligible. But anyways, these particular actions happened this past Friday. And yes, this pretty much broadens the criminal offenses covered by the pardon. President Biden is also granting clemency to 11 people serving what the White House is calling disproportionately long sentences for nonviolent drug offenses. President Biden, in a statement, said his actions would help make the promise of equal justice a reality in this country. Criminal records for marijuana use and the possession have imposed needless barriers to employment, housing, and educational opportunities. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to the drug marijuana. He said that, look, it is time that we make right these particular wrongs. So yes, this is something that we haven't seen or even had talked about previously in the past, and President Biden just did the unthinkable, pardoning thousands of individuals because of these particular marijuana cases. And I really agree with this, guys, because if you think about it, how can you say that in one state in this country, individuals or marijuana is actually illegal, and then across the country, you are seeing that people are making billions of dollars selling legalized marijuana on a daily basis? How can that be so? How can it be a legitimate thing to have these individuals locked up for these particular crimes, but someone else is making billions of dollars? That is just not right. So this is definitely a good thing, moving in the right direction in regards to the legalization of this. I know some individuals are an advocate of this. I believe that considering this particular drug does not necessarily harm anything, I think this is moving in the right direction. But what do you guys think about this? Comment down below and let me know how you feel about this pardoning of these thousands of convicted individuals. Let me know what you feel about that. Moving on, guys, we do need to go ahead and talk about another thing in relation to President Biden, in which we just found out that his administration, they actually tried to conceal that Chinese spy balloon from the public. You guys remember this particular spy balloon from China was floating across the United States? Well, apparently they knew about this, and his administration actually wanted to keep it a secret. They did not want to expose this information to the public. But the question is, why? Why would they want to keep that from the American people? Well, anyways, this is not looking good for President Biden or his administration at this particular time. And I will go ahead and say that this is not pretty much a good thing in regards to electing President Biden for a second term. Wouldn't you guys agree? It says right here that according to NBC News on January the 27th, phone calls between President Joe Biden and top military advisor General Mark Milley and NORAD Chief General Glenn Van Herk, they shed a new light on the Chinese surveillance balloon. The network also reported that that the administration initially hoped to keep the balloon existence a secret from Congress and the public, citing multiple former and current administrations and congressional officials. So yes, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is going to influence Americans to actually vote for him for a second term? I don't necessarily think so, guys. And we already know that according to his poll numbers, this does not bode well with either of them. And in fact, as you already know, President Biden is sitting at the lowest polls right now in regards to how he is performing as the president. He is sitting lower than any president in over the last 40 years, with 2/3 of Americans saying that the economy is still getting worse. I would agree. Americans are still struggling. People are still trying to put food on the table. Those individuals that are elected to receive SNAP benefits continue to keep getting them wiped out because of fraud across the country. And inflation is still very high. The interest rates are still very high right now. And individuals are no longer being able to afford their homes, let alone being able to afford their student loans, because the economy has pretty much took a dump because of the pandemic. Things are still not doing well in this country. Would you guys agree? The economy is still getting worse? I would agree as well. So anyways, guys, it doesn't look like anyone is going to be willing to even vote for President Biden for a second term. But if you are a Democrat, he is your only option outside of that new Democratic candidate that is running right now. I believe his name is Dean Phillips. And here recently he said, look, right now there is not one shred of evidence that Biden can actually beat the former president Donald Trump in 2024. Yes, this is the direct words coming from this new candidate that's actually running against President Biden. And like I said, his name is Representative Dean Phillips of Minnesota. And he made another case for his White House bid this past Friday, arguing that there is not one shred of evidence that President Biden can win against the former president Donald Trump. So yes, a lot of people don't necessarily know about Dean Phillips. I know me myself. I just found out about him just a couple of weeks ago, and here we are. He's trying to make a little bit of a push towards that effort, trying to get his name out there, trying to get more known by saying these different things that are sort of going against the current president, Biden. And yes, it says that the Minnesota Democrat claimed people are used to the political industrial complex that is always focused on the coronation, not really accustomed to a competition, particularly when you have an incumbent president. But this is a very unusual time, and I will agree, he is sitting as the worst president in the last 40 years. So anyways, in addition to what Dean Phillips is actually talking about, I think there is some good news in regards to that. And that is because, as you can see in a previous tweet that came out back in November, Dean Phillips said that, look, I will consider a pilot UBI program in certain urban and rural communities and measure the results before expanding that UBI program across the United States. For those that don't know, that UBI stands for a Universal Basic Income Program, in which that is where the government or local governments are providing additional money, such as a monthly stimulus check for certain individuals for either 12 months, 18 months, and sometimes even 24 months. So anyways, it does look like the incumbent, Dean Phillips, it does want to consider providing UBI programs as a pilot program in certain areas of rural and urban communities. And once it does well, once the results show that it is doing well, he wants to actually expand it across the United States. So that is some good news, especially for our low-income Americans in this country. But obviously, people on the other side are definitely not going to be pushing for this at all. But anyways, this is obviously some good news if it does come to fruition, because people are still struggling right now. And a lot of people like these pilot programs. And I will say the results that come from these pilot programs shows pure evidence that this is helping people, families, households come from below the poverty level. So we already know how the results are sitting in regards to the results from these pilot UBI programs. So the question is whether or not states, cities, federal level is going to implement a wide range of a pilot UBI program. This could be a good idea to help those individuals that are in need right now. But then again, who is going to pay for these UBI programs? So anyways, like I said, the UBI program is pretty much providing a monthly stimulus check to certain individuals as a pilot, but nothing still on a federal level. But anyways, we'll just have to continue to see how this new Representative Dean Phillips is going to say in regards to running for the 2024 presidential election. And we'll just have to see how he does, how he fares well. First off, against President Biden, and then secondly, how he could perform against all of the other Republicans that are still in line right now. So, we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Anyways, guys, like I said, Dean Phillips is really pushing for stimulus checks. He is also pushing for the legalization of marijuana in this country. He's the one that said that it is wrong for us to be criminalizing certain individuals in this particular state in regards to marijuana, but across the other state, you are seeing individuals making billions of dollars because they decided to open up a marijuana shop and sell it to the citizens of that respective state. So anyways, he is a big advocate of that, and he wants to bring change to the United States as well as to the economy. He wants to improve it. So can he do it is the question. Will he do it? Can he do it? We don't know. A lot of us don't even know who he is right now. So he really has to go towards that first off to get his name out there, to allow other individuals to find out more about him, to see what he is actually pushing for. Because if you do not like President Biden, this is your only other option in regards to voting for the Democratic side. So depending on what land you sit on, the right or the left side, anyways, that could be helpful to you and your family. Or if not, it doesn't even matter to you at all. So anyways, we'll just have to continue to follow him to see how this all goes, what he has to offer, and see how President Joe Biden responds back to his allegations in regards to how the current president is performing in this country. But the poll numbers are pretty much showing us all the evidence that we need to see. But anyways, guys, what do you think about all of this? Please comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this, and I would love to get your take on it. But outside of all of that, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, that's all we have for you today, but feel free to check out some of the items down below in the description. There are a couple of opportunities for you to earn some free money or some free cash, such as signing up with Webull, where they are giving away 12 free stocks after you deposit at least $1. The good thing about it is that those stocks can actually be worth up to $3,000. Also, don't forget about getting the Amazon Prime membership completely free for 30 days. It is a great way for you to receive free shipping directly to your home, as well as trying out a few of their other amenities that they have to offer. Check out all those links down below. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.